In this video, we're going to go over how to self-release your neck and shoulders with a foam roller. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Dr. Rowe coming to you from SpineCare in St. Joseph, Michigan. In this video, we're going to go over some great stretching exercises that may end in a satisfying self-pop, crack, or release in the neck and shoulders. I'm going to be using a standard 24-inch foam roller. It's pretty firm, has about a 6-inch diameter. If you do not have a foam roller, I will leave a link in this video's description for this exact one. As a note before we begin, all of these exercises, they're just stretching exercises. They do not serve to replace chiropractic adjustments. They are not chiropractic adjustments. They just put a lot of mobility into the neck and shoulders that may, again, end in a satisfying self-pop, crack, or release. So let's get started and get the neck and shoulders feeling better right now. So let's start with the neck. I really like this exercise because it really helps pinpoint positions and movements that might be locked up so you can focus on the ones that need it the most. I'm going to go next to a door or a wall. I'm going to position my foam roller right up against that door, and I want to make sure that the foam roller is supporting the whole curve of my neck. So it's pretty much going to start at the base of the skull, and then I'm just going to have it supported on my shoulders, so it should feel like it's really fitting into that curve. We want to angle our body just slightly away from that door or a wall and press into it with our legs to make sure that we have a very strong support. It should feel like our neck is fully supported by this foam roller. What we want to do is a warm-up to begin with. Let's get everything loosened up so we'll get better results later on. I'm just going to take 2 fingers, do a slight shin tuck like this, and then just kind of bend my knees, kind of like a squatting position, and roll my neck pretty much from, again, the top all the way to the bottom, very, very slowly over that foam roller. Apply just enough pressure with your legs too, kind of pressing into that foam roller where you're getting a nice self-massage, but it's not causing any discomfort. I try to do this for about 10 to 15 repetitions. Should take you about maybe 3-5 seconds or anything like that. To do a complete repetition, but I gradually apply more pressure in there too, just to get a better self-massage. From there, I like to target a little bit more off to the side. So this is really good if you have one-sided neck pain. Let's say I have a little bit more off to my left. I'm going to turn my head towards the left as much as I can, and from there, I'm going to do the same thing, just very, very slowly. Whatever side that your head is turned towards, the more that you're going to feel pressure on that side. So you can experiment with the left, and then you can experiment with the right side and just throw some more reps in if you do feel like you need it. From there, let's build into our self-release method. I'm going to start with rotation or a turning motion. So let's have very good upright posture to begin with. Do a slight chin tuck like this, and then I'm going to turn my head all the way in one direction as much as I can, kind of like looking over a shoulder. If this is locked up, you might get a sudden pop, crack, or release with it, but do not try to force these movements. We're trying to focus on deep stretching. We're not trying to force any popping. So what I'm going to do is go all the way until I feel a very deep stretch, and I try to hold this one for about 10 seconds. From there, I relax just for a second, and then I'm going to build back into that stretch, but this time I'm going to press into it just a little bit more with my hand and fingers to get an extra stretch. This passive stretch might get that sudden pop, but again, don't try to force it. Only go for a comfortable deep stretch. Hold this one for 10 seconds. From there, you're just going to repeat it on the other side. I try to do this right here for about 3 to 5 complete repetitions, and with each repetition just go a little bit more with it. Try to build some more range of motion, but only to your comfort level. From there, I try to work a little bit more into rotation with what is known as the armpit sniffer. So I'm going to go back into that rotation, looking over my shoulder as much as I can. This time though, I'm going to take my hand, put it on the top of my head, and then pull my head down towards my armpit like this. You'll notice that it opens up the neck just a little bit differently. I feel this one going all the way to the base of the skull. It feels really, really good. Again, try to hold this one for about 10 to 15 seconds, relax, and then do this for 3 to 5 times. With each repetition, just go a little bit more with it, and for good measure, go towards the other side to keep them both in balance. And for the third part, we're going to focus on a muscle called the upper trapezius that runs right off to the side. And this one usually gets people, or I should say most people will end up getting a nice release with this one. So let's say I have a lot going on my right side. I'm going to take my right arm, bend my elbow like this, and then take my hand, the back side of my hand right here, and then slide it across the small to lower back. Go over as far as you can. Reach over towards the left. When you do this, you're going to feel a very good activation of the muscle on the top right here. That's that trapezius muscle. So we really want to focus on feeling that to begin with. From there, we're going to take the opposite side's ear towards the shoulder. So my left ear is going to go towards my left shoulder. I'm going to help out by just taking my hand like this, placing it on the right side of my head, and then pulling it over. And I go over as much as I can, and I don't know if you heard it, I got a pretty good release right there into the right side of my neck. I'm just going to tilt it down towards that shoulder as much as I can. We want a very deep, comfortable stretch. We're gonna hold this one right here for about 10 to 15 seconds. We're just going to relax, and then we're going to repeat this 3 to 5 times. Again, going only for a deep stretch, and with each repetition, trying to stretch into it just a little bit more. And then for good measure, just go towards the other side. With those motions, if you do feel like one needs a little bit more attention, like it's more locked up, or you have a little bit more pain with that movement, focus on building into it with a little bit more repetitions. Focus on what you need the most. So let's move on to the shoulders. I'm going to show 2 different techniques. The first one being known as the shoulder pop and roll. We're going to start off on a floor on our knees, so make sure to put a pillow or towel underneath them for extra comfort. Let's put our foam roller out in front of us just like this. I'm going to grip into it with my fingers and press down into the floor for a stable anchor point, so we don't want this to move. We want to make sure that our arms are as straight as possible, straight at the elbow. What I'm going to do, tuck my chin towards my chest and then lower my butt down towards my heels. My whole body is rocking backwards as one complete unit. When we do this, you're going to feel a stretch intensify into the arms all the way up to the shoulder and upper back. You want to focus on feeling it into the shoulder capsule. Go down as far as you can, get that initial stretch. From there, what I'm going to do is then take my hands and place them like this off to the side, so my thumb is pointing up towards the ceiling. I want to then take my hands and use the foam roller right here to roll forward while my lower body stays put like an anchor point. So now our upper body and arms is moving, I should say, forward. So the more that I go forward, the more that you're going to feel a very deep pulling motion into the shoulders. Focus on that. Keep going forward as much as you can. And I don't know if you can hear it over the microphone, but my upper back literally sounds like Rice Krispies. It's just releasing like crazy. And I just actually felt a really good pop in my left shoulder. This opens up so much into the shoulders and upper back. Once we hit a very deep stretch, let's hold this one for about 15 to 20 seconds. Do nice, slow, controlled breathing also. Let that tension out. When you need a breather, just roll back like this. But you want to, on the next repetition, try to stretch into it just a little bit more. Always challenge those muscles to open up those joints and hopefully get that self-pop, crack, or release that you are looking for. I try to do this for 3 to 5 complete repetitions. On the next part, I'm going to take this to the next level by taking my foam roller and angling it off to one side. And then I'm just going to kind of tilt my body with it. So in this case, I'm tilting a little bit towards my right. Whatever side that you're leaning towards, what you're going to notice is it opens up the opposite side shoulder just a little bit more. I feel a very, very deep stretch into my left shoulder. So if you need a little bit more off to one side, lean towards the opposite side and just experiment with different angles. So go very slightly with it, and you can go all the way over if you want. And then just repeat on the other side for good measure. But go through all of those motions. If you feel like one just hits the shoulder a little bit better, throw more reps in at that point, and I hope that that really gives you that satisfying self-pop, crack, or release you're looking for. This next shoulder technique is what I like to call the chicken wing popper. I'm going to go next to a wall for this. I'm going to place my foam roller vertically, bend my elbow on whatever side that we're focusing on, and try to support the elbow and the arm fully on this foam roller. Press into it also with your elbow. We don't want this sliding around. It should feel like it's very stable. I'm going to take the hand on that side and just place it off to my hip just like this. So it almost looks like we're going to be doing the chicken wing here in a second. So I'm going to position my body where I look off to my side. My shoulder and my elbow, my arm, the back of the arm right here should be in a nice straight line. So we don't want to be leaning forward. We don't want to be leaning backwards with this one. Nice straight line. From there, I'm going to go into a passive stretch that's going to help open up the shoulder. What I'm going to do is take the elbow and drive it into that foam roller as much as I can. What you'll feel, the more that you press into it, the more that you're going to feel an activation into the shoulder. only go for a deep stretch. Don't force this one. Once you hit that very deep stretch, we want to hold this for about 15 to 20 seconds. And if it is locked up, you might get it to pop right away. But again, just don't try to force it. From there, just relax, take a breather. On the next repetition, press into it just a little bit more. Challenge it to open up that shoulder. I try to do that for about 3 to 5 repetitions. If it feels like it's still locked up and needs to be taken to the next level, we can do a little bit more of a passive stretch in there. So this is where we're going to do a chicken wing. So what I'm going to do is very quickly wing my elbow into that foam roller just very, very slightly. And I don't know if you heard it, I just actually got a nice pop right there into my right shoulder. So I'm just kind of winging it quickly like this, just very gently. This should not cause any discomfort. If it is, please discontinue immediately. But I just try to do that for about maybe 5 repetitions. Relax. If you feel like you need another set, you can do it. But for good measure, I would do this on the other side just to keep everything in balance. And I do hope that that really helps release that shoulder and gives you a lot of relief. If the exercises helped, please support us by giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to the channel too. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.